A real-life Cruella de Vil situation here. A woman is accused of using Disney World tickets instead of giving them to kids who are dealing with homelessness. Investigators say 6 employees of New York City's public school system took their own kids and grandkids to the park and on other trips. The trips are meant to enrich students who are living in shelters and other temporary housing. A whistleblower raising concerns back in 2018 pushing that investigation. The Department of Education says the 6 people no longer work in the public school system.
Shame. Shame, shame, shame. Shame on you.
When everything breaks at the seams and you feel like you're losing belief.
Damn it, you just gotta stay strong. When it all falls apart and goes wrong. When you feel let down and so lost. And it feels like you can't hold on. Well, damn it, you just gotta stay strong. 'Cause sometimes things go wrong. And one day everything's gone. But you can make it out and move on. So damn it, you just gotta stay strong.
Like other Disney YouTubers have said when they've talked about this particular company, this is a dismal Disney story, but this is from another perspective. Of course, it's innocent until proven guilty on this particular case. But this is a shame on you. Really, truly. And what we're talking about is there's money set aside for homeless kids, for students, to get to go on trips. They get to go on trips to historical sites, Washington, D.C., Virginia, many places, and one major theme park. And that is Walt Disney World. What we're finding out is that money that is supposed to go to the homeless is going to the employees of the department that handles it. That's right, folks. You got workers who are taking their own kids from the DOE, the Department of Education. They're taking their own kids on these vacations. Are they paying it back? I don't think so. This is off the New York Post. We're going to get into this immediately. Before we go, thank you for clicking on this video. We really do appreciate it. What happens in Disney stays in Disney. New York educrats took their own kids to Magic Kingdom on trips meant for homeless students.
Oh, that's not right. No.
6 Department of Education employees, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 6, used forged permission slips to take their own kids and grandchildren to Disney World on other city-funded trips meant for homeless students, investigators alleged. The secret perks robbed some of the city's most disadvantaged kids of a chance to enjoy the Magic Kingdom, a trip that cost $66,000. That's taxpayer money. Remember that. That's taxpayer money for 50 or so adults and kids, a staffer said. On the other multi-day trips between 2016 and 2019 to Washington, D.C., New Orleans, Boston, upstate Rocking Horse Ranch Resort, and Frost Valley YMCA campgrounds, according to a newly released report by the Special Commission of Investigations for City Schools. Linda M. Wilson, a Queens supervisor of the DOE, students in temporary housing, took her own 2 daughters on trips and encouraged colleagues to take their sons, daughters, and grandkids, but tried to cover up the shady practice when the SCI started asking questions, the SCI report said. What happens here stays with us, Wilson alleged told co-workers. She said everyone should stick to the same story, that we did not take our children on the trip, an employee told the Post. She told us to lie to investigators. While some homeless students attend the trips, the staffers' kids took up valuable spots. One DOE educator had to beg Wilson to allow him to add 2 of his students on a trip to Disney World, while Wilson and several staffers she supervised brought family members, the SCI said. Taking money meant for the homeless students is extremely inappropriate, said Naveed Hassan, a Manhattan public school parent and a member of the city's panel for education policy who advocates for students in need of housing. I'm shocked. Family members are not allowed on field trips, even if the DOE is reimbursed for their expenses, Chancellor Rule stated. Remember that line. Family members are not allowed on field trips, even if the DOE is reimbursed for their expenses. Wilson and other staffers used the names of homeless students to fabricate permission slips, then forge parents' signature on the paperwork, told investigators. Few of the homeless students listed on the paperwork actually attended the trips, a whistleblower told SCI. At first, Wilson used a DOE contractor to book transportation, hotels, food, and activities. The city paid for the trips with a $300,000 federal grant from the National Centers for Homeless Education, meant to give kids an enrichment and incentives to improve their attendance or academics. Wilson supervised about 20 staffers who worked nice play of words, with students in a temporary housing defined as those living in a shelter, car, park, or abandoned building. Last year, a record 119,320 New York City students, roughly 1 in 9 kids enrolled in public schools, experienced homelessness, according to the Advocate of Children of New York. Most of the out-of-town trips, including 4 to 6 staff members as chaperones, one or two buses for about 30 kids each, the SIC report says. The buses alone cost about $2,700 per trip. A staffer said those who went to Disney took the train. Wilson would decide which staff members could attend a trip, assign students to each staff member a chaperone, then replace the spots assigned for those students with staff member kids, the SCI said. Wilson planned trips to colleges, including Washington, D.C.'s Howard University in 2019, purportedly so homeless kids could tour the campus. But she didn't contact the colleges to arrange the visits, the SEC alleges. On a 3-day trip purportedly to see Syracuse University in June of 2018, the DOE group only ate lunch on the upstate campus, the report says. Then they left for Niagara Falls, more than 3 hours away. After planning numerous trips, Wilson abruptly canceled a trip to Philadelphia in 2018 when she was requiring to process the payments for the trips through the DOE instead of going through the contractor. Wilson, whose salary last year was $99,726, she makes $100,000 a year. Wow. But 1 or 2 of her daughters on the trip, the SCI said. Other staffers accused of bringing family members are Michonne Jack, who took 2 daughters, Shaquita Boyd, who took a daughter, Virginia Ramos, who took 2 granddaughters, Maria Sylvester, who took 2 daughters, and Joanne Castro, who took 2 sons. Boyd was fired, but blamed Wilson. The supervisor in charge not only gave us permission, she encouraged it, and I had no reason to believe that this was against the rules. After completing its probe in January 2023, the SCI recommended that Chancellor David Banks terminate all 6 employees and required them to pay restitution with the amounts to be determined by the DOE. The DOE also fired attendance teacher Jack on September 5th of 2023, record show. Settlement last month with the City of Conflicts of Interest Board. Jack admitted using slots intended for homeless kids to take her two daughters to see the Broadway show Wicked on a trip to Washington, D.C. in 2016. Excursions she was hired to chaperone. Jack agreed to pay $1,200 fine, which the COIB slashed from $3,000, the appropriate cost of the trips, due to financial hardships of losing her job. She lost her job because she did something wrong. She should pay for the whole thing. She also blatantly taking perks on Wilson, she said, told staff that she could bring family members, according to the COIB settlement. Reaching this week, Wilson flatly denied that her daughters attended trips, that she would allow the staff to bring their own children. She insisted that the DOE checks and balances would have prevented such abuses, and she called the SCI probe a witch hunt. Wilson, 63, hasn't been terminated, but retired from the DOE. Yeah, she got all her benefits. The DOE would not whether say she was disciplined or paid restitution. All staffs identified in the report are no longer employed by the New York Public City Schools. Spokesman Jenna Lyle. The SCI decided not to refer the cases for criminal prosecution, citing the lack of available documentation, a spokesman said. And you see more and more of this in the corruption throughout the city of New York. You know, we talk about the Adams administration in this situation. We're talking about what part the DOE has in part of this. You know, Banks, you know, is he part of the situation? And he allowed this to happen under his watch. But this is a shame. Have a situation where homeless kids should have been going to Disney World, but they were looked over by people who make money, who make $100,000 a year in their job. You know, they couldn't pay for the trip themselves. You know, but you have kids out there that they've never been to Disney World. They've never had a vacation. They've never, you know, to the point where they're living on the streets of New York. They're living in parked cars, parks, you know, homeless hotels. And they're getting pushed out of these places, you know, to make room for illegal migrants to that situation here in 2024. So what is to do? What do you do? You know, the feds and local state administrators need to start pounding on this. You know, I mean, we're getting some results so far, but, you know, we need to ramp up these investigations. Here you had a bunch of people in the DOE that were taking trips with their kids paid by tax dollars. That's right, tax dollars. Your own money has gone to fund this. Have we gotten a refund on this, on all of this? No. We only got partials. And you know, everyone blaming, you know, the situation. I didn't know it was illegal. I would have asked. I would have looked. It's easy to look this up in the books. Is it illegal? If the New York Post knows it's illegal, everyone else knows it's illegal. You know, I say innocent until proven guilty, but listen. Take the punishment. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Just don't do it. As that famous song by Sammy Davis Jr. would say. But, you know, it's just amazing. And considering how expensive, I mean, even going back to 2016, how expensive Disney World is to get in these days. How expensive the food is, hotel, transportation. I mean, didn't the buses know where they were going? You know, the one where they went upstate, that basically, you know, the bus says, oh, we're going to this college. And then they tell the bus driver, oh, we're going up to Niagara Falls. I said, that's not on my itinerary. Don't they have an itinerary? Or were those forged as well? Were the bus drivers notified in advance? Not to blame the bus drivers. They're just getting to what the paperwork that they got. So comment in the comment line below. Let me know your thoughts about this. This is a shame. It's a shame that this is going on homeless kids. You know, that this go on. These kids need a leg up to the situation. And of course, you know, the greed of these employees. It's so glad most of them terminate. But why wasn't Wilson, denied her? Where she denied her benefits? She should be for this instance. So comment, like, share this video, and hey, hit that button down below. Hit that subscribe button, because I know there's tons of videos out there that you could have clicked on, viewed, but you clicked on ours. We really do appreciate that. We thank you for that. For that, just hit that subscribe button for us. It's easy on there. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the support, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.